Hello, and welcome to the Real-Esteem podcast. Today is July the 2nd, 2018. I'm your host, Patrick Tabor, and today on the Identity Edition, we're going to talk about complaining. If you'd like to hear any of our previous podcasts or get a copy of our book, Real-Esteem, Finding Your True Identity in Christ, please visit us at enith.com, www.eyniith.com. One sure way to consistently get yourself into some type of trouble with the Lord is complaining. We all do it at some form of fashion, some point in our life, even with our body language. We complain. We don't like how things are. We don't like the circumstances we're in. We don't like how that situation went. And we are determined to let somebody know about it, to let somebody know how we feel about it. But the question in complaining is it going to benefit you or is it going to cause more damage to whether it be your relationship with God or your relationship with people? Do you really benefit from complaining? And the question is an important question. I would assume that if you're complaining about a wrongdoing, something that was unjust or some situation that, should be corrected as far as maybe purchasing an item and you weren't satisfied, there's certain times where you have to speak up. I understand that. But just casual complaining, it really gets us in a lot of trouble, especially with the Lord. Philippians 2:14-16 says, "Do all things without grumbling or questioning, that you may be blameless and innocent, children of God without blemish in the midst of a crooked and twisted generation, among whom you shine as lights in the world, holding fast to the word of life, so that in the day of Christ I may be proud that I did not run in vain or labor in vain." So here, Paul is saying in his letter to the Philippians that he wants you to not grumble and complain, because that's going to give you a better perception. It's going to make you look better in the eyes of men and the Lord. It's going to really make him proud, because he's going to feel like all the work and effort and time and persecution that he went through wasn't in vain. It was worth it, because you were able to control your tongue when need be, and you were able to manage those feelings and emotions that you have and not complain about the circumstances that you were in, knowing there's a greater glory coming. There's a greater reward. Even in this life, I do believe you get a lot of things in this life, and that comes to pass when you are consistent of not complaining. 1 Peter 4:9 says, "Show hospitality to one another without grumbling." I mean, how would you feel if somebody's giving you a gift or helping you out, but they're complaining about having to help you out the entire time? You probably wish you didn't ask them to help. Jude 1:16 says, "These are grumblers, malcontents, following their own sinful desires. They are loud-mouthed boasters, showing favoritism to gain advantage." Anybody who spends most of their time complaining, you have to ask yourself, who do they really care about the most? Numbers 11:1-2 says, "And the people complained in the hearing of the Lord about their misfortunes. And when the Lord heard it, his anger was kindled, and the fire of the Lord burned among them and consumed some outlying parts of the camp. Then the people cried out to Moses, and Moses prayed to the Lord, and the fire died down." Well, just as if your children are complaining and you're providing them shelter, food, clothing, and sometimes you're providing entertainment and things that they would like to have that have nothing to do with necessity in their life. But when you do that, they may complain still because it wasn't the right color, or it wasn't exactly how they thought it was going to be, or but yet they didn't pay for it. So should they be complaining? We also get angry with our children when they don't appreciate the fact that we take our hard-earned money to get them things that they want and not necessarily need. So when they complain, I think the reaction that we have is warranted. So I assume here God's reaction is warranted because they were complaining after he's taken care of them so many times over and over again, and you still complain, something's wrong with that. And I don't think it's with the Lord. Lastly, Ephesians 4:29 says, "Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear." We've got to have a mindset that we're going to help, benefit, encourage, exhort, lift people up, give them words that are going to make them sensitive, but words that are not just critical. We don't need to complain about everything along with those who complain. We need to have an opposite word or something that's going to flip that narrative and make them understand that we do not have to complain. It's not mandatory that when things go wrong that we go into complaint mode. We can enjoy this life, and we can see the glass half full as opposed to always seeing it half empty. Regardless of which situation, it still has the same amount in it. It depends on how you perceive it and how you want to look at it. It's a choice. You can choose to be a negative Nanny, or you can choose to be a positive Patrick. So I hope and pray that you got something out of this today. Just remember, spend more time focused on how you can modify and change yourself without complaining, how you can stop complaining in your everyday life with the circumstances that come. They may be heavy, but if you can do that, you can get a better grasp on your life. And I believe you can take a lot of people along with you when you don't complain about every situation that comes along. I hope you got something out of this today. Be blessed. Grace and peace.